buddy. Fucking took off on me. Can I borrow somebody? Oh, I'll keep borrowing different people. Anybody want to lay down for me real quick? Thank you, sir. All right. So, side control, or top half guard first, we're going, sorry. Okay. No, Danny, it's fine, I got it. Okay, important. When I'm on top, I have to control my opponent, right? The keys to controlling someone and keeping them either facing down or facing up is to make sure he can't twist and face the ground, right? So if I control one thing, it makes it hard for him to get up. If I control two things, it really pins him to the mat, right? Well, the two things I'm probably going to control, it's like he's like a door right now. If I right now, naturally, me being on top, I have now pinned his left hip, the hip closest to me. So if I pin his shoulder, he's kind of a door. He could roll up, you know what I mean? He has a pivot point. He's not in the worst situation in the world, right? But if I pin across, now it's like a door that has hinges on the opposite side. The guy building my house fucking did that to me. I'd shoot him, right? Because like it's not a door, it's a wall now. You know what I mean? Like it's not moving because it's pegged on both sides. So the idea is that I have to control the far shoulder and near hip. So people get obsessed with this underhook has to be the underhook. Yes, it's important because it helps me control the shoulder. But the part, sorry guys, this is primarily MMA thought process. So this is a street fighter, but jiu-jitsu guy, I'm helping out here. Yeah, I want to peg his hip down. So when I'm on top of somebody, I'm always controlling the bottom leg because my knee is now top of his thigh, which means that if he wants to face the mat, even with me not trying very hard, my leg is stopping his hips. So I like to keep that going. In fact, if he can pull his knee out, he can move his hips around. So one thing is when I'm on top, I don't want this knee coming out. And there's different ways to pin it. The way I like to do it is I like to do a triangle. So I'm on top of somebody, I triangle my leg. My foot's still on the mat, and I have him pinned. Now watch, he digs the underhook, sweep to him, go ahead. It's not as easy to get away from me now. I have plenty of time, swim. Now if I didn't control his hip, he gets under, yeah, his hips pull out. Now I'm fighting with a lot more energy because he cleared his hip. So like foreshadowing, to be really important, we do the half guard. We'll talk about this bottom leg, right? So my main submission I go for from here is just, I go off of him. So it kind of depends today. Where would you put your arm?
Sorry, second.
Where do you like to put your arm?
I'm usually in the gi, right? So I try to.
Right. So if somebody goes ahead and has a frame on my neck, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ear over the top of their head. How I do it is that I don't just shove his arm. Everybody has a strong enough back, he's just gonna keep his elbow down. He's not gonna let me get it. So, as he has my frame, I push in, I'm kind of looking at him, and then I push it over. I just guide my head over. So again, I'm here, I use my body to go, hey, how's it going? And now I'm keeping his hand from following me back. Okay, don't come back. Now I have it gripped. From here, I pull my knee up, and I pull out of the half guard, so I end up on the side. Now I don't put my hand on my bicep because I can't have the dexterity to make it sharp. I'm gonna do either an S grip or palm to palm. I'm in here, I'm concentrating on keeping my forehead close to his head. In fact, I even keep my hand on the mat, so if he tries to buck it against me, I'm like, nope, I'm staying here. Even more important than connecting my hands. Once I'm ready to finish him, I connect my hands, I put my chest on the floor, I stay close to him. I now pull my hands across the mat, away from my opponent, and I walk my body towards him. That cuts off all the blood to the brain. Because I'm going sideways, I'm attacking, he's gonna feel some pressure in his spine, but most of it's gonna cut off the blood to the brain. If I do a figure four, I tend to notice all my pressure's down. And I get people in the gym to tap all the time. I got flipped off in a fight one time for it. But guess what? In practice, he has to go to work tomorrow. He feels bones popping, he goes, fuck this, I'm out. We're in a fight, his woman's watching with his mom, and I get him in something his neck's popping, he don't give a shit. Most people ain't gonna attack him. Because it's pain. None of my submissions are pain dependent. They either put you to sleep or they tear something off your body. Because then you have to tap, and if you don't tap, you're not that good anymore of a fighter. I've lessened you some way. So So if I grab your ankle and you don't tap, I don't care, I'm ripping your ankle. Fight me now. You know what I mean? Like, okay. See the mindset? So this choke, I'm purposely trying to get blood, not pain. This is a neck crank. For me, I don't know, if you happen to be a wizard at it and you honestly put people to sleep, don't change your shit. I don't. I put my hands palm to palm, and now it's like I'm hanging him, it's a noose. Here's his head, here's where he's gotta be. I'm flat on the ground, so his body can't get on the other side of it. And then I pull my body and walk it towards him and do this. And you see, I did not spiral out. That's because the only defense that honestly works requires him getting his legs away from me. So if I walk in a circle away from his legs, if you do that to me, I'm out. If you stay hip to hip, I'm in trouble. Make sense? Any questions? You want to see it? I'll do it. Got bodies down here? Half guard, whatever you said, right? Can everybody see real well? If you missed the point of vantage of view before, make sure you guys move around, okay? Okay, so I'm fighting. I lock my half guard to be heavy on it. I'm pressing in, like we're fighting. I make sure I feel, oh yeah, that's driving in. I go towards him, and I pop it. Then I hold it. Now I'm gonna open the half guard, but I'm keeping my ear punching towards him. I start to open, I slide my knee, and I use that to wedge my foot out. Once I drop down, I make sure that, see this other check that I'm doing, this is important. When I'm here, I push people's heads up and I push my arm down even more. I'm head to head so he can't get away. I connect my hands, my chest goes to the mat, and now I inch towards him and make this hole as small as possible. Good blood choke, right? Yeah. Not too much of a chiropractor. You're still gonna, you know, still cracks bones a little bit, adjusts the neck, but it's not gonna be the reason why they tap. Hopefully they're going to sleep. And again, the escape, you know how to kick your legs over, right? Yeah, that one where vice versa, like, just so you know, watch, do for me real fast. The main escape, I'm going that way. For this choke, if you do this, it only delays the inevitable if the guy's strong. If there's a few seconds in the fight, this is fine, but I still tap people all the time and put them to sleep to do this, if I have time. If I got 15, 20 seconds, you're fucked, this ain't working. But what will work on me is that if you punch your arm and kick your legs out. So the defense, which makes it worse, if Danny starts walking in a circle, and now all of a sudden I go, oh, I'm out of here. I take it back. And you see guys actually do this on accident all the time. The two tall kids that fought each other. One guy, had him, the one Brazilian, was Thiago Silva, I think. He had that newcomer that was crazy, came out. Anyways, the newcomer didn't know what the fuck he was doing, but he rolled to his knees and got out of it because that's the right way to go. Sorry guys, a lot of talking. Any questions on the first part? Half guard, how I control it, really focus on the legs. If you just stay on your knees, watch, because like Danny has a phenomenal half guard, right? If we're fighting each other and I stay on my knee, he can do whatever he wants. It's his choice on whether he wants to pull his knee out or not. And once he pulls his knee out, it's a fight. If my leg is above his knee, there's no omoplata. There's a very difficult time escaping. Anything Danny wants to do with his hip, pretty much the only thing I'm giving him now is a Kimura. I could trap his hip and he still could hit a Kimura, but shit, that's one out of several moves now I have to worry about. I like those odds. Whereas if Dan's knee's able to come out, shit, I'm in trouble, man. He could do different Z-guard now, knee shield, and now I have to try to pass, or maybe I get pushed off of him. It's a pain in the ass. So stay above the leg and lock it down. Different ways other guys do it, in case you don't like the triangle. If you have better, I have big hamstrings, so I can't pull my foot to my ass like some people, but I train with guys who put their foot on it, push it down. It's preference on you. Some guys I train with are much more wrestling background. They won't triangle their leg, they actually just lift their heel to their ass.
That tag.
Yeah. And they constantly walking like this. That I have a harder time with. I think that works good in wrestling. The wrestling match is 6 minutes, 7 minutes in college, 5 international. But if I'm fighting someone for 15 minutes, that's a lot on my hamstring. So I triangle. But just to let you know, my thought process isn't that you have to, if I tell you to hold the wrist, and you see me use my hand, that just means I need to secure the wrist. If you can use your knee to do it, use your elbow to do it, that's MMA, that's martial arts. As long as you're, and that's why we have so many different styles. Once I teach you the alphabet, your handwriting is your own. As long as it's within the principles that it makes sense that I understand what you're saying. So as long as you're controlling that hip and you understand why you're controlling that hip, it could be on you how you do it. I'm just giving you what, hey, I like to do this. Shortcut on your learning curve, so you're not having to figure it out on your own. And then you can adjust within that. Any questions? Easy stuff, right? All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3.